Alright, give me 1 second, people. We need to make sure the stream is live. Alright, good. We all. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Doom, the Dark Ages. The final stream, for real this time. Alright, you probably wondered what the hell happened on Monday since the stream ended prematurely. I don't want to go into great details, but unfortunately, we had no family emergency that happened that day, and I don't want to really say anything about that personal stuff, but you have to say, unfortunately, the stream had to end at that point. Yeah, we couldn't carry on at that point. But we're carrying on from here. And I'm gonna say right now, I'm actually replayed that whole this mission again from the beginning. Because I thought, you know what? Reset from again. I will accept that. It's the final stream for Doom Dark Ages, and I only think it's only fitting we do that. But in case you want to know the recap, we need to know. We were able to make our way out of hell, back to the Bowl of Antitina. We fought our way to help the Keaton. We killed that fat Meg who betrayed us and sold us out. Then we fought our way to Satan himself. Well, Prince Arzak, but we'll call him Satan because, why not? We fought our way to him. We fought him in a one-on-one fight. And in the process, despite all his power, we were still able to beat him. But unfortunately, our dragon died in the process. Arzak killed our dragon. He killed Doomslayer's buddy, his one personal pet, and pissed him off. After we took Arzak's power away and rescued the princess, unfortunately, Arzak escaped. He is a coward. That's what he is. The guy is a coward. He has no balls. I can confirm that. He knew the Doomsayer had thought of some terrible ways to kill him. He went back in hell, and that's where we all right now. We are on these vengeance, man. We gonna avenge our pet. No, not our pet. Our buddy. I'm gonna let the cutscene play one more time. I just love, man, you all these essentials, they're just coming here watching ass whooping. They'll get front row seats to the show I'm about to put on.
To the Slayer.
Hey, so I was saying his name right. Arzak.
Draw the horde to us.
Oh, and also we're doing this so that I can remember how to play the game again. A quick little refresher. Here we go. Take the fail. Here we go. And we're not forgetting this here. I did not forget that for the first time. And also this too. Well, actually no, I got this the first time. And in case anyone know, it's mostly just saying about the story of the son, if I remember correctly. The son of the betrayer. He's not yet betrayed us yet, but this is the son of the betrayer. The one whose soul will be used to recreate the icon of sin. But, you know, that's later down the line. If I'm looking at it, I think we got halfway through the level before we had to end the stream. So hopefully we can quickly get our way back. Oh, and you know what we have to do first, you people. That might be a good idea. We just gotta remember not to shoot the rocket until it pays someone. And holy god, we don't kill us by accident. Fuck it, why not? This was the area we got stuck on the first time. And also, I just wasted a extra life on that one. Yep, once you use them, you're not getting them back. Nope, 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 nope. Nope. Yep, long time, and I lost focus now. I don't think I should skip this since technically I only did this away, but no! What persistent? Just like that guy. We're not close to the people. We don't quit. Oh, hang on. Give me 1 second, people. Sorry about that. That hurt something. Oh, in case anyone want to know, this is not part of me, Missy. You do not have to do this. I just did it because, well, technically you were done the first time you want to unlock a toy. AKA the older one. Well, technically I unlocked that way, so I don't know why it's giving me that gun. Oh, but we're all playing on Night Vale. For anyone who won't know. Now, unlike the first time, well, I actually spent like almost a good minute looking around. I actually know where the lever is. I know you got a clone something around here. There you go. Yeah, okay, that was actually a good one. Yeah, we're not forgetting about the goal deal. Oh, no! Wait a second. Yeah, now mode, yeah, definitely a Wolverine. Kinda forgot there was a Wolverine involved in that one. If it helps, we're more than halfway through this area. Well, definitely getting close to the point when I left off. Speaking of which, what should we upgrade? We might switch over to the the plague. I mean, the Holy Swarm, I should say. No, no, wait, no, I want to go back. Don't send me back down. I forget about no toil. No pendule silk. That's gonna be the last toy of people deal with them. After I get done with them. I know there was a snub place. Yep. Just like last time, we didn't forget this. Alright, how did I get it? Ah. No, Mike, don't worry. We're not done here. Okay, we might miss that though. Boy, there's a lot we miss. How did I miss that much gold? Yeah, sorry people. I just I would not leave that much gold behind. All my not getting everything. That's fine with me. But at some point, I can't leave that much gold behind. Like that. I knew there was gonna be an ambush by a Macabus at some point.
Approaching Azur's hangar.
If we need to search your ears to fail the first, we should be good.
Slayer's getting close!
Yep, took him a while. Yeah, knew there was Immortals, I will. About time he died. Alright! I think we did all the ammo and everything. Once a coward, always a coward. Got too scared to fight me. He's not leaving this space alive.
on board. We hold our ground until he finishes this.
Oh, I know what we're doing here. Do I need to do anything for particular berserk? I'm coming for you! Yeah, this one's gonna be closer. Well, you saw like there was no rampage. Oh, hang on. We'll do something fail. Alright, one left, full loaded. Though, actually, no, do we have any? Maybe we do take see there's a crossbow around because there's usually one these types of scenarios. I got so carried away with the massacre. Yeah, I don't have any crossbows. Nope, no crossbow for me. The BFC will have to go on by itself. It would be in our hearts and prayers. Besides, I know what Alzheimer's loves. Being seen bought out.
Kill him. Avenge your god.
Oh, you can't even fight me like a man? Your friend ain't gonna save you, man. I'm just waiting. You know what? Who's that?
resurrected.
Boy, he's talking so much shit as I'm beating his ass. Dude talks the big game. I don't think he's capable of it.
Kill him. Avenge your god.
What?
The old one can still be resurrected.
He keeps, every time he says that, I die, unfortunately. I can beat his ass, alright? First, I know what he loves.
Kill him. Avenge your god. Lost your edge, heretic.
What do you mean heretic? Well, taking you guys are the heretics. Oh, actually, no one. No, no one. Well, if I'm remember correctly, I could be wrong. I might need to look at the definition of a heretic here. Isn't a heretic for you don't believe in God or you disobey God's beliefs or something like that? I don't know. I kind of forgot what the word means.
Kill him. Avenge your god.
I keep spamming the whack 'em. I can't help it, okay?
Kill him. Avenge your god. As I live, the Old One can still be resurrected.
Oh, just you and me,
I
boy.
command the Horde. Kill me, and this war will never end.
Okay. But you're making it that like this war will never end. You didn't me kill.
I've lost your edge, heretic.
Is that all again? Nope. Know what? How about Nibble Super Saga?
I've lost your edge.
Wait, what hit me though?
heretic. I've lost your edge.
I thought I paid that one correctly. It's not. Ah! Yo, even if I lose, you're gonna be full of spikes! Oh, we almost had him on that one. Do your bite. Got any last words? Once again, your witch has to save you. Oh, your pot's good too. Was. Was pot squid. But now you're all dead. Nah, he'd be full of nails by the end of this. You want to? I can help you pull them out. Just for me to put them back in. Smart lads. Didn't say what we're about to do upon you, even Jason Voorhees will say we too fall. Again! Again! Nah, all hell should be able to heal what I'm doing to him. Yeah, you bought one, you coward! The smart one's won. And they don't stop running. Back to the capital, I think. A world state that has not been destroyed.
Any word? No one has seen him since the assault. We are much better off with him on his own. And you, young sentinel. Your father tells me great things about you.
Oh,
Thank
yes.
you, sir.
We know great things.
The Maker's Church has disavowed all actions taken by the Creed. They give their word he was acting alone.
Bullshit.
Won't bring justice to anyone that collaborated with them.
We'll move forward with our own Inquisition, quietly.
Oh, so hinted a way to find out what the Makers are planning.
It is time to look forward. We will always be a people of faith. But we must consider now who we will put that faith in. And I say to you, there is no better place to turn to than ourselves.
And also it's Leo.
This is our home, and we will stand together to the last sentinel to defend it. As we have before. As our ancestors did. As we always will. And lastly, I'll ask you to join me now in paying our respect to him. The people of Argent-D'Nur rest easier now, knowing he is out there.
Yeah, to chop my sim right there.
Targets identified.
Fine, the Civ's back on my control. As it should be. Well, now it's back. Now it's mine.
Slayer, ready for launch.
Alright, not bad. Then that theme played a little bit. I would say the soundtrack is no Mike Golden. It's not bad. So I do think Doom Eternal in 2016 had the best soundtrack, but not say this one's bad by any chance. I'm just saying I did just soundtrack those games do about this one. Yeah, we missed one movie. No wait, as expected. Yeah, we're definitely not mixing any codex here. All toys. We do not miss our toys. Die first consumed. Just like that looks. We can continue, like we paid a missing something? Nope, to twits. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Doom the Dark Ages. Be weird. But yeah, I probably will have been able to beat this on Monday. Alright, well, since the game is over, I guess I should say my little thoughts here. And hey, I need to positive note, at least that extra day, well, day or two, did give me some time to see what you think about this game a little more deeply. So what do I have to say? Well, I guess I should say get the elephant in the room, because I know people will be constantly saying this. And I guess I should get this out of the way, just so that we can go a little more in depth in the game here. How does this stack up with 2016 and Eternal? And I want to make it clear, I'm not saying it should be just like 2016 or Eternal. That's not what I'm trying to compare it to. I'm just saying how does it stack up, how pause is compared to those two. How pause this old mechanics work together as a whole for everything. That's what I mean when I compare it to. So, pros and cons. Pros! Graphic, it looks amazing. I mean, be fair, it is on the continuation. Chucky 16 and Total were all on lasting, or I guess during the Xbox One to PS4 era. But this one born the PS5 and Xbox Series X era, to say. So obviously, graphically, it's a lot more pause. Frame rate, so far I have not found any issues with the frame rates. And so far it went pretty properly for the most part, though I will get this out of the way that I do know the PC port of this game has issues. Some people say it works perfectly fine, others it crashes a lot. So I can't say, so it's kind of like a flip of a coin of if your PC version of Dark Ages will work or not, unfortunately. Oh, I like this thing here. So I will warn you, if you're trying to play on PC, be aware of that. It's kind of sad because graphically and frame rate, it works pretty well. I also will admit I like the art direction. I like that this gothic, medieval look to the demons of hell. Well, for the demons, the hell, for hell itself, and also Antinder. I think from 2016 in total, we want to see a little more of Antinder. The Sentinels. We want to know a little more about them. Tease in 16 to total, we want to see a little more of them. And we got to. Not much I was hoping. I thought we'd get a little more of some of the big events from the past. But I guess that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to focus on another secret this game. Whether you like that or not, that's up to your opinion on that one. But I like the art direction. I like this little mix up medieval with science fiction, technology and art direction. I think it works incredibly well. I think I mentioned this away, but especially when you get to Mars during the second level, it's almost like, you know, just like every game, you gotta go back to Mars at some point, or at least run the moons of Mars, as I say. So it's fascinating going on Mars and comparing the technology in the research factory on that one. It's just another research factory, but I like how it's still feels different than the ones we've seen beforehand. It's a lot more medieval, not as high tech in some areas. It feels its own. That's why I kind of like the art direction of the Sentinels. They're both a high tech society, but also low tech and in different areas. Like, I get the best way I can say it is, it's like gothic science fiction, similar to like Space Marines, to say, very similar to them. So I think they really nailed the direction and the look and the feel for the Sentinels. Though I admit that one squad, I keep seeing the cutscene too. I feel like he has goofy armor. I don't know, I just want to see him a couple times, especially near the end cutscenes. I do feel he does feel a little out of place. But besides that, got great art direction. And I'll admit, for the most part, I like some of the demon designs. I did very well updating them, and I do like how we actually got a lot of unique looking ones. Particularly in the Cosmos realm. And the Cosmos, it doesn't well to explore, and I would say a woody addition to the Doom universe. Though, if I'm correct, I believe Quake is more constant horror type of enemies, while Doom is more hell. So, I admit it's an idea to actually combine the two here, and I admit I was hoping to see more of the constant realms enemies in this game. And I will admit I was no disappointed we don't see a constant origin, a winter constant origin enemies, as I say. What I mean is this: I like the look of the Cacodemon, the Cacodemon hybrid, and the constant Baron. They look amazing. But I was hoping for more of the constant realms own type of enemies, like more of them. I was hoping they play more around, with some of those guys. Especially as you look at the Baron's Hell's concept art for this game, they look amazing. And honestly, I hope they use some of those designs in either DLC or in future games, because main designs I think could work on their own type of enemy. Not to say I want to disrespect by saying that we can of the Baron, but they could be their own enemies, besides just being a constant variant of the Baron. And I also wrote correctly that there was supposed to be almost a Macabus Cosmon that also plays with the Cosmic Realm look. I think that will actually work quite well, and I would say this. I think this could be an interesting idea to go down, that you make the Cosmic Realm Mancubus be the one for 2016. I think that'd be an interesting way to actually tie into the look of the two and kind of explain why they look so different between 16 and Atona. Since I do like the look of the 2016 Mancubus. I know a lot of people didn't really like it that much, I think. I think that's why they went more with the classic design, but I kind of like the look of them in that game. But so far, I would say most of the enemies I like the look of. I did the Komodo one was a top and insane looking one. It's kind of like, I don't know, just the idea of a giant mechanical lizard with a spear chainsaw weapon. I think it sounds awesome, pretty cool. And I kind of like how he plays a little more aggressive, but he will back off sometimes and try and attack with some combos. I like the idea of that. The Argonian Hunters, the ones who they will become the Doom Hunters, it's really nice to actually see what they look like before they end up the Banekambold and Corpse and Torna. I thought it would be more of a hunter tracker type of enemy. So it is kind of, I would say it was an idea and concept to actually make them more like a Marauder, like almost a heavy version of the Marauder. They do more heavy damage than the Marauder, but they can't block every attack. There are a lot more openings to them. So I think the idea for the Argonian Hunters is meant to be almost like the, I guess, more player-friendly version of the Marauder. I like fighting against the Marauder. But I will admit sometimes it does get a little old, especially how long it takes to take them down sometimes after a while. I do like the Marauder, don't get me wrong. I like the idea of them. And I do like playing against them. At the same, I think the Doom Hunter, not the Doom Hunter, the Argonian Hunter, I think, works well as almost like the concept weaker version of the Marauder. I would say that. He's the bigger bulky one, but there's a lot more opening to hit them at. I kind of like that. I also will say I do find it interesting that the big heavy enemy in the game is not very much the Giant as Cyber Demon, which I like the Cyber Demon, though I will admit I do think they may weaken him down a little bit. Oh, and I'm not a big fan that you constantly have to go up close to him and kind of dodge his attacks. Well, parries his attacks. Otherwise he just guns you down. I kind of wish there was no more. You could do that as the pop way to fight him, but you can still fight him no far away. Since I don't know, I do feel like you try to fight him far away, he's not gunning you down too many times. I know there's a lot of openings, but I just wish they would have been noble kinder to those. Oh, and these often noble openings from the fall. But I get them trying to deal with him. Though I will admit, it's kind of funny to think that the Cyber Demon in this game is, I would say, a lot weaker than the one in Torna. Definitely in 2016 though. Be fair, 2016 I think it was a 7 demon altogether. And I know they'll call Giants in the Torna. But what I'm saying is, there's not really much a bird sponge in this one, since you gotta be up close to them, and most of your heavy duty weapons are kind of meant to fight against him. Yo, I parry, shoot, during the Super Saga and the Chain Sword and also the Bow Gun. So I think the weapon work quite well against the Cyber Demon those days. So I guess that might explain why his health goes out a lot faster than the other ones. I think the Whip-Ass might have no too much health in this game. I don't know. I don't hate the Whip-Ass. I just feel like sometimes those guys can have no too much health, in my opinion. Maybe knowing the health down a bit would be nice. I'm just saying on future, uses of him. Or her. I think it's a C if I remember correctly. Next thing I will say is, I will admit, I do wish we get the classic version on the Pinky with him, like the one where there's just a bunch of melee-oriented type of enemies. I just saying that because I feel like the Hell Knight kind of became the Hell Knight kind of became the Pinky of the I guess the modern Doom games, since in the Woods game the Pinkies are more like this, almost like a bullet point expensive, but these fast melee-centered type of demons. While the ones in these games they're like these heavy armored kind of guys that you gotta jump to shoot in the back. Now the Pinky in this game, you don't have to worry about shooting in the back, but they'll mostly just this cavalry type of enemy. I always we see in the versions of the Pinky in this game too. But the one I actually do really like, and I kind of like the idea of, is the Imp Stalker. I like the idea that they kind of played the idea of there's two different species of the imps. You got the classic imps, well, the big, kind of not as fast, but they can deal damage for you from close to long range. Then you got the ones from the modern games. Well, they're a lot more weaker, easier to kill, but they're a lot more speedier and agile. And I kind of like the idea that this game kind of hints towards, well, the Stalker imps. Like, this is like during the last time you see them, since my theory is, I think they get wiped out by the Doomslayer at some point, because I see, especially in this game, they're really common, and honestly, the not as heavy and the other demons, especially the Hell Knight, and they don't do as much damage compared to the other ones, so they end up just being very easy to kill. One, I need the smaller, weaker ones. I need, like I said, they come in larger numbers, and I need a lot more odds. And if I'm correct, I think those guys actually have a very common way. They're very common to kill, especially players doing the more heavier difficulties of this game and the other ones. I have difficulty ones. Yeah, fun fact. You guys look at the what the most common demon what's the most common demon that kills the players the most times, and during the modern games on the higher difficulties, it's usually the imps. That's because they're usually a lot more common, and well, when you're focusing on the big heavy ones, the imps usually are the ones who are able to, deal the damage behind your back when you don't notice. So I kind of like the idea that those imps end up being the only ones that survived. Or at last the wizard ones, and the wizard ones just end up being wiped out. I like that. I think that's a cool idea. But I like the idea of the spider. That big giant spider boss creature that kind of became. I want to say it's like the Doom Hunter, but more like kind of similar to the Doom Hunter from Torna. That type of enemy you fight as a boss and end up becoming a more common enemy that you fight against. More like being one of the most heavy duty demons you fight that are common. I forgot his guy, but we'll call him the armored spider guy. I like the idea of him. I think he's pretty cool. And honestly, just looking, especially in especially in the model, he looks awesome. I like he has that almost industrial, Wittian, aggressive, venomous, disgusting look to him. I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe, but I just really like the look of him. I think he's a cool idea, cool design. I like him. I will say I wish the bosses would sped out the game, not just doing the last 3 missions. I wish we got no more. And when I mean bosses, I mean like official bosses, like real bosses. Like I know we got meat bosses, especially with the Spy Guy, the Cyber Demon, the Guardian Hunter. Usually the champion versions of them. I get what they're trying to do with those, saying that these are the type of versions of them, and the ones you fight during the West game are usually like the weaker spawn of them. I get the idea. I just wish we got more official bosses. Like, let me say this: like halfway through 2016, you fight against the Cyber Demon, and Torna halfway you fight against what's it called, the Gladiator. Well, in this game, halfway through the game, you don't fight any, I guess, real bosses, to say. No, it's only during the last 3 missions, and I kind of wish you got. I need to create the one special type of boss you fight midway in the game. I think that would have been a good point. Maybe not another conflict boss you had to fight against. I think that would have been a cool idea, especially add another conflict NC to fight. That's my opinion. So we will. I mean, I don't hate the bosses of the game. I think that worked out pretty well. I do like the mechanics of them, and I do feel like this might be a little controversial, but I will say this. I think Atona's bosses, besides the Icon of Sin, are usually one of the more weaker aspects in that game. Since I think Atona works well when you fight against hordes of demons, but when you fight against one big boss enemy, you gotta have small ones. Because Atona was built around, you gotta kill enemies to get your supplies back. So you can't just fight one-on-one. The game can't work like that. 2016, it works. It works fine. So through the Cyber Demon, the Guardians, and the Spider Master fight. Atona's does have issues with that. That's why I think Icon is considered the best one, since that boss is really built around fighting this oversized, powerful being, boss enemy, while you have a bunch of small, well, I mean weak, I mean like a bunch of other demons you fought through the whole game to constantly chasing you around and you're fighting against at the same time. That's why it works. because you fight against two types of enemies: the big boss and his minions. That's why the Icon is the best boss in the tournament. At least in my opinion, but I feel like that's why his design works well. And also the same way why I feel like the Samuel's boss and Davis, the Devil's boss and the Ancient Gods, Part 1, Part 2 don't work because I feel like Part 1 you just find the minions and spit. Just spit the whole time doing that boss. I wish we would have fought Samuel, at least, directly, not just fighting against his minions and just doing some damage to him, when he's open. While David's just a big giant water. That's why I feel like the bosses of that game does have issues because, well, unless the enemy's fine, unless, you get my point. You get what I'm trying to say, hopefully. I think the Dark Ages bosses work well because at least those bosses are designed on the gameplay, which is you're a fast moving tank. You're able to block some of the attacks, or at least the range attack you can either just parry or move the side of. That's why I think these guys work better, at least as bosses, gameplay mechanics. Especially with, my god, Prince Alsek. I might call him Satan, so if I say Satan, I'm talking about Prince Alsek. I know, I guess he's like, well, I consider like the Doom version of Satan. He's not that Dave, that's David, the final boss of the Ancient Gods Part 2. I like his parry mechanics. I think it works really well, and at least when he spawns stuff that you can get your ammo back, at least then it makes a little more sense, and then taking away the idea that you're fighting him one-on-one. Plus, depending on the because you get in for your guns, you can still get the ammo, or not you hit him in the head, or do some, something against him. But we're getting the guns in a moment. So I would say boss mechanics. I think this one works a lot better than Eternals for boss mechanics. So don't get that twisted. Now, next thing, the guns. I both love the guns, and I do have some issues with some of them. Now, for pros, I do like how every gun, or at least ammo, there's two main guns that go along with it, besides the chainsaw. For the shotgun, for the slugs, you get the shotgun. Well, I guess I should say the level action shotgun was basically good against, well, like the tackle trades. Like this gun not do better jobs than it, but that shotgun, at least you try and play it with one gun the whole game, at least that one, at least might be able to carry you through the game for the most part. Then you got the super shotgun, deals more damage than the common one. Especially up close, and I think the Super Shotgun might actually do the most damage in the game besides the rocket launcher. But it costs a lot more ammo, and I will admit, the ammo in this game is a little more friendly than Eternals, though I think 2016 has... Well, honestly, no. When I'm playing this game, I think I never went out of ammo for any of my guns, or if I did, it's like once or twice. Maybe a handful of times. So, then again, it could be just me just being used to the mechanics in the modern Doom games and not relying on one gun for too long. Because I do know that the game is a lot more friendly with ammo management. At least in this way. And of course you got the... What's it? I'm gonna call it the nail gun. Kind of like the assault rifle of the games. I like the mechanic, well, mainly I could do see a lot of you too. I mean, nails like you can't enter anything, then see it and have the nails spiral around. Then you got the poke gun, which honestly became probably my favorite gun during the little half. I kind of realized that it does not as much damage as the super shotgun, but does a lot more damage than the other guns. Maybe even the chainsaw sometimes. Well, maybe not like the chainsaw, but at least you get a lot more opportunity to shoot the poke gun than the other ones. And if you shoot them in the head, obviously you get some of your ammo back. So it kind of became my go-to weapon for at least some of the bosses, especially against Prince Alsek. I think I'd use that gun more on him than any other weapon. Probably because I know that it works the best on him, or at least a little more friendly towards him. Then you got the Skull Crusher, the one right side that good against large groups of enemies, but uses a lot of ammo, and I know it's not good against long-range enemies, or I mean enemies for long range. Then you got the focus skull crusher that's kind of like the chain gun for the other games. Then obviously you close them on. You get the Panzer rifle. The Panzer. I would say the Panzer rifle. I feel it acts more like a Panzer submachine gun. Then you got the dual Panzer gun, which I think I kind of use that one over the submachine gun since I think the submachine gun does more damage overall. But the problem is, the way fire can cause you to kind of miss some of your shots, and I kind of prefer the other one. Well, it deals damage after damage on the enemies. I don't know, maybe I just like the dual sword Panzer gun no more. What else? After that, of course you got the chainsaw, which I think it's pretty good against especially the larger, bigger enemies. Though I do feel like the super saw can kind of oversaturate at times because of it. Though I think the chainsaw has more ability to shoot more times than the super saw gun. And eventually, if you got the upgrade where you can, well, when you pay most of the enemy attacks, it tosses up the chainsaw for you. Whoa! Ow! Okay, that was kind of bad. Oh, good, we got some Nightmare skins. Just for the sale. Yeah, fucking, why not? I like green, but you know what? Just so people know, I play on Nightmare. I wish it was soda guns in the borders here. Which might be a criticism I'll have in a second. Anyway, I would say to find the weaker guns in this game, I would say it would be the grenade launcher and the walking launcher. Probably the walking launcher, which I think it's mostly because I think the damage alone kind of causes me to not use it too often. I know it's probably good against like lots of group of enemies or one big heavy enemy, but I just know that those big heavy enemies are once you just end up being up close to you. At that point, just using up close is pretty much hazardous your own health. Unless you upgrade, but even by then, I think I should kind of train myself not to use it at that point because of it. So it might be my fault, but I do feel like the walking launcher in this game is probably the weaker one. At least me, because it's only good against long range unless you get that upgrade, and even then, if you don't pay quite good at the right time, you can actually kill yourself with like 1 or 2 hits. Plus, since a lot of the enemies in this game do have armor, I do think the armor does kind of, as I mentioned, kind of encourage me not to use it. I don't feel actively healing myself in the process. And the grenade launcher, I guess I just end up using just the skull crusher because of it, though it doesn't have a Doom gun to actually have a grenade launcher in the campaign. I mean, quit. It's his idea. I would say this. I like the idea that it's probably better against Macabus, since a lot of those swords kind of have a, I think the arm ones, they kind of block your field of view and you gotta shoot over them sometimes. So I think at that point, like the grenade launcher ends up being far useful at that point against, I think, those type of enemies. But I think just the explosive weapon in this game just end up being overshadowed. Well, it's kind of interesting since usually the walking onto explosives are usually the best weapon against bosses in the other Doom games, but in this one, they're probably the weaker ones. At least in my playthrough. I think it's mostly because the melee focuses this game. Which I guess is the other thing I will say, which it's both a positive and negative thing. I will say this. I do appreciate that it kind of carries over a lot of the ideas from a Atonement with melee combat, kind of more of a improvements. I guess the series of it. I like the idea of using the shield. I think that was a great idea, especially when this one is kind of forcing you to be a lot more grounded. That hey, you can't tip around and dash all the time. You gotta be on the ground, taking those taking those shots. It's not more grounded similar to the Wizard ones, but you're a lot more faster, and the image will deal a lot more damage. The shield kind of becomes the bigger mechanic of this game. Just that the dash was for a tournament. The shield kind of became the main mechanic for this one. I think it works most of the time. I think overall it works incredibly well. I like the idea that the shield can kill pretty much every fallen enemy with one hit and just takes out hordes of them, making imps and souls kind of, well, at that point, just Not even the biggest, not even a sort of warrior half the time. And that's not too many or they'll surround you and you kinda need to take them out. But at least then you don't have to worry about losing the weapons. Well, wasting ammo on them, let's just say. This year kind of became the anti-fodder weapon. Especially you get health and especially you get health and I think armor from it. And also pretty good against I need to stun the heavy type of enemies, so I can actually stun them for a bit. Especially good against the whip ass and also the weapon and the what's it called? Not the wits, these guys. The actors, the social demons. Welcome socials. Especially good against them since those guys like to kind of move all around the map. And will try to spawn and they'll clone themselves if left too long by themselves. I also like the idea that you can kind of charge the enemy with the shield kind of lock on them, shoot yourself at them. It deals damage against enemies around you, kills some of the fodder enemies, and does kind of as a core kill. At least if the core kill is available. Which I don't really get the core kill anymore. Alright, if anyone watching this, just hoping to see gameplay, you probably not see that much here. I'm just getting my thoughts on this game right now, which I probably should hurry up about. I think the melee weapons are a great idea, and for the most part, I think do work. I do like the idea of the first being more the quick hit type of melee weapon. Well, you can do more damage at the enemy, then kind of back off. Each hit is weakened the other two melee weapons, but you can easily recharge it very quickly. And the idea of one upgrade is you can charge your fist, so it sucks the enemy, now you do more damage on them later on. I can imagine doing that probably would help some of my fights here. Then you have to fail, what kind of ends up being the anti-armor type of weapon. You get 3 hits on it, not as much as the, well, probably one the same amount as the first, but you don't charge us up as fast. But kind of like the middle tier of the 3. You don't charge it. It's not available as much as the first, and you don't hit as fast. But does no more damage than no better for armor, at least from my experience. Then you got the death mace, which pretty much you get one shot, but it does the most damage of the 3 to the point where I think it can actually kill a 17 once he's in his second phase, because I know at the moment I get him in his second phase, the death mace kills him. Or at least does enough damage to put him his stun state. So hey, that's something there. But speaking of which, do I have the 17? No, I don't. Holy cow! So that's the demon we missed. One of the toys. Get ready to go back now. Yeah, I missed some Coda too. And that's what we do. God damn it. How could I? And also Codex. But yeah, so besides the point. I think the melee works, though I'll admit I'm not a big fan of constantly being pushed back after using a hit with the melee weapon. And I also will say, it does feel like I'm bouncing on the enemies with it sometimes, and I'm not a big fan of the idea or the feel of it. I get the idea, it feels nice once in a while, just I'm not a big fan of the bounciness of the melee combat. And this is the big controversy, and I do feel like this is one of the big goods of the game. I do miss the glory kills. I think the glory kills, I think it was a bad idea taking that out of this game. I feel the glory kills is one of the bigger parts of the Ball & Doom games, and honestly, I think they will both be well in 2016 and 20. I admit sometimes it gets repetitive if the same glory kill animation from the same demon after a while, especially when you use the Berserk power up. But at that point, I would just say just create new glory kill animations, or switch them up a bit. Especially since you have many weapons, I would say at least that should offer a lot more ability to look at the glory kills. Since Jonah, well, left, and Doomsday was using his blade on his left arm for the glory kills. And at least in that game, it made the Glory Kills a lot more faster. So I did think should have worked around that. I mean, as I said, I did not get the idea of Hugamov and the other team, the levels were trying to do. That's especially with the Kakin team in tournament, and not just being the Glory Kill, what's it, Bullet Box. I get the idea. After a while, just concentrating the Kakin team in the same way, it does get old. But I think there's a better way to kind of fix or kind of go around that than just take them out and just use, you can mini spark and kick the enemies all the time. That, honestly, I think after the first one got old. And did me miss doing the Glory Kills. I think you can keep some of the kicks. I need some small kick animation. But honestly, they should have kept them like at the Glory Kills. I think the Glory Kills would have been a better choice. And honestly, I think this game kind of feels... It's like missing that. Especially since when you see the shield during the Glory Kills, I think those look well. They look great. I want more of those, not sparking kicking or sparking punching the demons around all the time. They're not as fun, and honestly to me, doesn't feel as enjoyable as taking, whipping the demons out in those cutscenes. Okay, and now you can get them so fast, quick, and brutal, I think people will mind it. So that's my opinion on the Glory Kills. They still kept them. And honestly to me, I think that's one of the biggest things on this game. The other one is this. Honestly, thinking about it, and I want to say this. This is like my opinion. I did look at some other people's views on it, and I still like this game. I think this game is still great. It's still a good Doom game. It's a great game, but as I mentioned, it's a good Doom game. The problem is, it's kind of overshadowed by some of the greats. I said, bringing the Dirt Energy in a award-winning modern Doom trilogy, it does feel like the weaker link. I said, weaker link, it's still a great game, don't get me wrong. I mean, honestly, gameplay is still very fun. I still had a great time with it, but I do feel like especially the maps. I do miss how, especially in 2016, there's a lot more story going on in the environment. You get known about how much each spot of the Mars Research Society you don't know more about. Like this backstory. And as we playing it myself a couple months ago, I did notice that a lot of the donors you actually don't know more about the history of the place. Not just the history, but you also know about, oh yeah, that code of the UAC, yeah, it goes deeper than you originally thought. Yeah, as you continue the game and get more and more of those lore codexes, you realize, oh yeah, as you're progressing through the game yourself, the journalist is saying, oh yeah, we're more like a cult here, yeah, here's more of the darker, twisted areas about it. I kind of like those. I think they're really enjoyable, tells you more about the environment, and even without them, I think the environment still tells a good story about what's going on. The problem here is, I think some of the maps, take it like the Barracuda is a fun mission, though I'll admit it's more just the mech mission. Fun as hell, but you don't really know too much about that area of the map. Besides one codex and that's it. I think the codex in this game is definitely the weakest. It needs just 2 pentagrams for each lane and that's it. I kind of miss the one from 2016 because at least they really tell you a lot more about the war and how some demons get like 2 or 3 codexes each. Tells you about the basic decision of the demon, talking about the history, the behavior, and the next is like the UHC attention to research them and learn about them. I like those. While the Dark Age, you just get 1 and that's it. Hell, I need to do a toner, it still gives you the history of the demon, and also at least tells you how to fight them at least. Gives you tips and warns about, oh yeah, the kind of demon. Shoot a grenade or a mine into its mouth and you pretty much open it up for a Glory Kill. Or hey, the Tyrant. The best way to fight against the Tyrant is to shoot as much as you can against it. It doesn't have any direct weaknesses, it's just a big giant demon that does a lot of damage out. But you can still do the same thing on it. It doesn't really dodge your attacks, though. Like at least then you can test how to fight the demons. While this one, you don't get away that much info on the demons. Besides the basics. And honestly, if you ask me, I think that's a weak part. I kind of miss a lot of the codex entries, and I will admit, especially when you get the console realm, while the redesign, I'm gonna tell you right now, these two missions feel identical. I don't know anything about this one that I don't know from this one. Just like I know from this one that I don't know from this. Like, I want to know more about the console realm. Tell me more. Don't just give me like 2-pack on the codex and call it, call it a day. No, tell me more. I want to learn. You don't need to explain everything. Just add to the fascination. I want to learn. Don't tell me everything. Just give enough for me to be curious. So that's kind of one of my big nitpicks. Like, I think the environment needs to know more of the story, and also I wish the codex series. Because, hey, something more about Tonal and 2016, I need to go on and learn about the environment and the demons and the characters. Because what, you got codex, you can always just pause and look and read it. Tonal, yeah, not as much as 2016, but you still have it. It still gives you a basic idea about what's going on, who's you, and what happened between 16 and that game. But this one, you don't really get that much. And another thing I would say is, while 2016 does give you a lot of sight, that's just besides the main story. Like, obviously there's a lot more collectibles in that one, besides, like, was it hung down the was it the RNC part that upgrades your armor, your health, or your ammo capacity. Then of course you got the toy collectibles. Then you also got the codexes, you got the runics to look for, and you also got the classic levels. Then in total, I admit they took the classic levels out, but there's a lot more toy variations. You can look for records and have music from some of the Wizard games and ID Software gameplay at your little center base. You can look for generals to unlock skins, make upgrades and other stuff at your little base. There's an access to the map you can explore for. Well, this one is mostly to some codecencies, the toys, and the skins. And also the gold too, but honestly I think the gold, I don't know, it doesn't feel as, it just wasn't as looking for the environment, like looking for your secrets. Like, you gotta think for a bit. And I'll admit, I'm happy the map does tell you what everything is. I won't lie if I feel like I will before looking for some stuff on my own and just having to learn about what certain items are. I'm just doing this to show you the, the codes so.
Oxygen levels depleting.
Like, that's it. This looks amazing. And even if I find the codex entity, it's just like 1 or 2 paragraphs and that's it. I want more.
Creed
I want...
Signal lost. Commander Thera. Signal detected.
I said, this looks cool. It feels cool. But it just doesn't... I don't know, we don't learn much of the story going on here. I wish I would learn more. And that's it, I know it's a Doom game. Obviously, story is not the biggest idea or plan of those games. I'm fine with that, I understand. I just wish there's no more. I need codex in the environment, in the background together. You don't want to take away from the story and just focus on the gameplay. Just add to the environment. Just put in places. That's what I try and miss. And that's it. That's kind of my my main thoughts of this game. I kind of prefer the sequence from 2016 and Tonu. I think 2016 has the best idea for the sequence since a lot of them are pretty well hidden. But at least when you find them, it feels a lot more impactful. You feel like, wow, I earned find the secret. A total normal thing find the secret since at a certain point in the game on those missions, it does give you the ability to fast travel to certain points of the level, just so that you have to walk back to them. I like that, and I definitely feel like 2016, you don't you don't find out where those secrets are, you could actually soft block yourself by not being able to go back to find those secrets. You can still play the Western level, but you won't be able to go back and collect those secrets. Unless you wasted the whole mission. So, Quid, I like to has that faster feature. That feels like a good advancement. Dark Age, you don't get the fast travel. I admit, it's kind of goofy saying I want a fast travel system in a Doom game. But, when you have secrets that encourage you to collect, and you make the levels pretty big, especially that big battlefield, it does get old running back to them. I mean, as I said, the Doom series ain't slow by any chance. He's not. But my god, I just wish I can faster those big quick things like this. Torna has it, I just wish Dark Ages has it. But what I'm making clear, I don't want this game to be a copy of Torna or 2016. Honestly, I like the idea of the heavy hitting team we can block and pay attacks. I think that works very well. I just miss some of the cool extra features that those games had that I think could work really well alongside the mechanics in this one. And my other issue with this game is, I'll admit, I think the story, especially the characters, you don't get as much with them compared to at least 2016. Now, Torna, I think, did kind of the same amount of things as this game, though I could be wrong. I just feel like at least Torna, it feels more fashion fighting against the card maker and the Icon Sense, especially when you read the codex and find out the history of the Doomsail and the card maker and the Centaurs, when you find out he betrayed over you. This one, I'll admit, the idea of Prince like not only trapping you, but also killing your dragon. That's a good reason to fight against him, but the dragon death doesn't happen until near the end. And even then, you don't really get know a lot much about the dragon. Same one about 16. At least when you met Vega, he's very helpful for you. And at the end, when the Doomsayer decided to help him, save him, and not to lead him, that felt impactful. That felt like a good build-up. There was a good build-up of trust with him. That's my point. I just feel like a lot of the characters in this game, we met our way, but off screen. I would have met them for the first time in this game and build that trust overall. And I will say this, I don't agree with this guy's opinion. If you know what I'm saying, who I'm quoting here, I want to make clear. I don't agree with all his opinions or disagreements with this game. But I will say there's a lot of cuts to this game, but there's not much being said compared to the other ones. That's what I'm going to say. A lot of them are way cool. I think the Siege Part 1 looks amazing. I think Siege Part 1 too does a very good job with the cutscenes. I think that the other ones just not as impressive and just feels like they're just because we know the cutscene, that's it. Right? But I said, those Doom games. So is not the focus. I understand that. I think 2016 did the best with the cutscenes, and to the bare minimum, and even then, I like the whole first-person aspects of them. And I'll admit, I did kind of miss the first-person look of it, especially when Torna kind of took that out. But even then, Torna should kept the cutscenes to the minimum, and that's needed. They only add to the story, then help drive the gameplay. The Dark Ages, I think some of the cutscenes doesn't help the gameplay that much. And I wish we would learn more about the characters due to gameplay. That's just my opinion on that one. Right? And I can go a lot more, but I think overall it's still a great game. But I will say, of the three, I do think it's like the weaker overall. Now, I'm not saying this is a bad game or a bad Doom game. It's not. Honestly, I can't really think of a bad Doom game. And even then, the only bad Doom game I can't really say is one of the ports for the OG one. If you know which one I'm talking about, good. Here's a hint. It's the one where it has a good soundtrack, but everything else sucks. I'm not gonna say what, but it's the port of the OG one. That's a bad Doom game, and a bad game in general. This one it's still a solid game. I just think it's the weaker of the three of the modern Doom games. There's a lot of great actions in here, and I hope they explore more on it. Explore more of the block, parry, animal, slow moving, heavy hitting type of fighter. And I will say, I do like the idea of you constantly mowing down enemies and kind of becoming this like wrecking ball. I like that aspect of that gameplay. I think it works well. 2016 is one gun. Eternal, your constant high speed plane, taking out enemies left and right. You hit hard and you hit fast. While this one, you're hard hitting freight train. Or I guess a tank is to say. It's a great game, and if I had to give it a score, I think it would be a solid 8. Though, if it's a PC port, I will take it down just for that, because honestly, I think it's, it's kind of funny to think that a Doom game has a not a good PC port is kind of sad to say, and honestly, I think if they had an issue with the PC port, they probably should have just delayed games and saying, hey, we just want to, give no extra time and love to it. And as you see here, the codex, while interesting, I just feel like especially Douglock, one of the Hell Priests from a tournament. We just see him like one cutscene, maybe a second one, but that's it. I'm not saying he need to take over the story. We know his story, especially by tournament. But I can say the same thing about King Novak and the other Centaurs. It just feels like just having him here was, oh yeah, in Tournament, here he is. I wish he would play a little more of the story, so that at least when he portrays you, it felt bigger. And as a dragon, see where it sides like the Doomsayer find the dragon half dead, and pretty much wanting kind of save him from it. See, that will have been awesome as you see and as you do in the game. You save him, and when you're about to die, he saves you. That will be a cool aspect in the game. And not just having being in codex. That could have been a good level. Hell, you could have just had that level being like one of the first, during the first mission. That would be a cool thing to have. Not just you beat him, and he already happened away. Now, I want that to happen during the game. Yeah, you can see the codex. I kind of, we can't forget something during that they have, I'm afraid. But yeah, that's just my view on it. I said, if I get the game, it'd be an 8 out of 10. The PC port definitely lower because of it. But overall, it's a solid game. Just I think it misses some of the pause I think the other ones had. You know what I mean? Clear. I know I said this a lot of times away. You keep counting how many times I said it. I don't want it to be 2016 total. I don't want it to be that. I want it to be its own thing. And so far, they're doing a pretty good job of it. I just feel that it needs a little more pause. And honestly, I didn't like the Doom 2016 multiplayer. I don't think that was a good idea in that game. I don't think the multiplayer was a good choice for that type of gameplay style. It just kind of feel like almost a Halo whip-off at times with that. Now, I forgot the Modern 16 where you get to make your own maps. I think that was a genius move. And honestly, I think they should have kept that into a tournament. Expand more into that. That could have been a cool mood to actually have and experiment with. Let the players create their own levels for each other to play. Go over the top, because honestly, I think with Antonio's gameplay, that could work quite well. And Dark Ages, I can see that being better. But, I said, it's just the campaign. That's all this one has. And I know a lot of games have great campaigns, and that's it. But, with how much this game costs, 60 to 70 bucks, I feel like it needs a little more into it. Alright? I don't say I need a multiplayer more, but I wish there was a little more modes to this game. That's what I'm saying. So I hope over this game's lifespan that at the Assaultville can at least add some more access in this game. At least without paying for them, at least. But still, I hope you enjoy, and we'll continue another game. The Elder Scrolls V. We'll continue that one. That next thing we'll do tomorrow. We'll come back to that one. I have a funny idea how to do that game. I have a funny idea. I'm not gonna tell you. You gotta find out tomorrow. But until then, I hope you guys have a good night and take care. And hey, take care. So until next time, have a good time, and we'll see you there.